Today I'm going to make an amazing pasta pie. It's kind of a twist on lasagna. It's blooming lovely, and first of all I'm going to start off by making a bolognese. It's going to be meat-free one today, or bolognese as I like to call it. Makes us endless laughter in the kitchen. So I'm just going to cook that up. So put in your olive oil, I like loads. One very finely chopped onion. Oh, now I'm going to turn my heat down. You want to do this very low. It's back again. We've got a large onion, couple of stalks of celery, biff that in there. Keep it nice and low. We don't want to brown it, we want to just soften it. So I'm going to give it a stir. Hit more olive oil. It really helps if you've got a helicopter in the background. It's going to make your sauce even more delicious. Right, so that's just going to be gently sweating off. Not a very pleasant phrase, but yeah, we just want to kind of soften that for like 10 to 15 minutes, no colour on there. Oh, top tip actually, top tip. I'm going to add a little sprinkling of salt here, because if you add a little bit of salt to your onions, it does prevent them from browning. Where's my salt gone? Oh, it's over there. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, just a little bit, just a kind of sprinkling. So that's nice and soft. They've sweated down. I'm gonna add garlic. Lots of garlic bread. And I didn't put this in the beginning because I want to just like heat it for a couple of minutes. I don't want to be frying it off and losing all that flavour. I want to keep it nice and fresh. So I'm going to biff this in. I need to make this a bit lower temperature. I don't know how to work it. There we go. In it goes. I've got 4 or 5 cloves, I think, in there. I'm going to use fresh basil. I'm going to add fresh basil at the end, obviously, so it's nice and sort of fresh, obviously. But I like to put a little bit of basil in at the base as well, so I'm just going to top tip, scissors, just trim the stalks, and just kind of bit of stalks, bit of basil leaves in there, and that's just going to really add a bit of base flavour to the sauce. I'll save most of it for the end, but I'm just going to add a little bit now. You can really smell the garlic and the basil now. I love adding red wine to my bolognese, so just a generous splodge. About half a glass worth, maybe a bit more. Oh, that smells really nice. What time is it? 9 o'clock. When you're cooking a bit of Italiano, got the old red wine out. Cheers. These are whole plum tomatoes. I prefer these to chopped. I'm going to take out the tops of them, so just pour them into a bowl. When I put them in, I'm just going to pulverise them a bit with my hands rather than chopping them. So just pull out the sort of bitter tops from the tomatoes, the kind of inside yellowy bit, and then I just kind of like scrunch it all in, really. Scrunch your plums. I'm going to use 3 tins of these tomatoes. When you're making a lovely pasta sauce like this, I always kind of make double what I need because it's a really easy one that you can keep in the fridge for a few more days or freezer or whatever. Then all that lovely sauce. I'm going to continue doing that with 2 more tins. So everything's in my pot now. I'm going to leave it for an hour. Preferably a minimum of an hour. If you've got longer, you can do it for 2 or 3, or just intensify. Just leave it bubbling away on low heat, and then a bit later we'll come back and add our quorn or meat substitute, whatever you need. A few hours later, it's been simmering away. I'm now going to add some meat substitute, quorn. We use a bit of quorn. You can use whatever you want, really. You could even do it with meat if you want. So I'm just going to add this into my sauce pot. Lovely. Stir it through and give it another 15 minutes and it's ready to go into its magical pasta tin. It's time to boil our pasta. The sauce is ready. So I've got boiling water, a bit more olive oil again, and quite a lot of salt. I always put quite a lot of salt in my pasta water. Some bit you don't have to, but I'll probably put about a generous tablespoon of salt in there. I'm using really big fat tubes, and you shall see why I'm doing that a bit later on. These are really good, these ones. You can just use normal tortelloni, but these are slightly fatter, so they're perfect for what I'm doing. Nice big fat tubes. In there goes the boiling water. Boil your pasta. This says 14 minutes. I'm going to do mine for about 9 or 10. I want to slightly undercook it so when it goes in the oven it's not going to go all mushy. I'm just going to season it now. I'm going to add some fresh basil. So get my scissors again. Loads of black pepper. I like quite a lot. See how it is. That's really nice. So I'm going to turn it off. A little bit more black pepper. So that is ready. And now it's time for the assembly. So, pasta we cooked earlier, nice and al dente, and that's all been drained off. I've got some panko breadcrumbs, a few tablespoons of that. Did I mention I like cheese? I've got lots of cheese, so a bit of parmesan cheese as well, very finely grated. Toss that through with the cooked pasta. I'm just going to pop the oven on actually, because we do need the oven on about 180 degrees. I'm just going to wash my hands. Pop the oven on. Got some bit of rice in there from last night's takeaway. That's not me. Okay, so we are ready to assemble this amazing creation. I've got some mozzarella cheese, just ready grated, stuff's good. And I'm going to bring back my parmesan. I've got a spring form caked in, buttered and greased and lined. So now I'm just going to layer in my pasta tubes this way up into the tin and just put them next to each other and just pack them all the way around quite tightly. You know when you do it with hula hoops? I just couldn't resist it. It's like a beehive, pasta-y beehive. Look at that. I'm going to take a little bit of the pasta sauce and splodge that all on there. So what's happening is we are filling the tubes in. Biff it down to kind of press the bolognese inside the tubes. Give it a bit of a squash. I'm not going to put too much in because I'm going to double layer this one, so I don't want it to be too wet. So that's your first layer. Add a tiny bit of cheese, not too much, a little bit of mozzarella and a little bit of parmesan. A few more pasta tubes, just lay them up around the first layer so you've got a really nice high pasta cake. Last two going in. Oh, look at, couldn't have planned that better. No, I didn't even plan it. That's just being brilliant. Right, so now we're going to add the last layer of sausage. Just put a bit of that on there. So spread it all over there, loading up all of those tubes with the sauce. Going to give it a bit of a bash. So you can see that's all that sauce is kind of disappearing into the tube, so just give it a bit more of a brush over. Cheese action. Back with the mozzarella, back with the parmesan. Just as much cheese as you like. I'm just going to scatter that all over there. I'm going to put that in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes on 200 and then it'll be ready to demolish. My eyelashes just burnt off. My mascara just all frizzled up. It's ready. The pasta pie should be finished. Have a look. Look at this creation. I reckon that's going to serve about 10 people, I reckon. So let's just open it up. Big reveal. Right, okay, so far. Can't find the end of my paper now. Oh no, here we go. Okay. Look at that. It's like a wedding. I now pronounce you husband and wife. Parmesan and mozzarella. Oh, it's falling apart a bit, but oh my god, It's amazing. Come over here, Lola. That is amazing. If you want the recipe, check it out below and don't forget to subscribe for more.